300 flights have taught me that humanity divides into two categories when deplaning after a long haul. People who look like they've been through a natural disaster, and people who look fine. For years, I was firmly in the disaster category. I'd shuffle off planes looking like I'd aged a decade, smelling questionable, with hair doing things physics shouldn't allow. Meanwhile, some guy 3 rows up would breeze past looking like he'd just had a spa day at 35,000 feet. I hated that guy. Then I became that guy. Not through magic or secret first-class upgrades, through 7 specific moves that transform long flights from medieval torture into something approaching tolerable. Maybe even, and I'm being generous here, almost pleasant. These aren't the tips everyone already knows. This is what actually works when you're facing 10+ hours in a metal tube, and you'd prefer to arrive looking human instead of like a reanimated corpse. Tip number 1, the ear situation. Let's address the worst 20 minutes of any flight, takeoff. If you've never experienced ear pain during pressure changes, congratulations on your superior eustachian tubes. The rest of us are sitting there with what feels like ice picks being slowly inserted into our ear canals while trying to look calm. I used to white-knuckle through this, convinced it was just part of flying. Then someone told me about earplanes. These weird little pressure-regulating earplugs designed specifically for this problem. They look ridiculous. They work perfectly. They slow the pressure change in your ear canal, giving your ears time to adjust naturally instead of screaming internally. Cost maybe $10 on Amazon. Worth every penny to avoid spending the first hour of your flight in pain while questioning your life choices. If you're already on a plane without them and the pressure hits, swallow hard repeatedly. The swallowing motion opens your eustachian tubes. Chewing gum works. Drinking water works. Yawning works if you can force one. Basically, do anything that makes you swallow, and do it aggressively. You'll look weird. But you'll also not be in pain, which seems like a fair trade. Tip number 2, the secret seat features. Economy seats are designed by people who apparently hate the human body, but there are hidden features built into these torture devices that most passengers never discover. First, that armrest between you and your neighbor. It moves. Look for a small button on the underside. Press it, and the entire armrest lifts up. Game changer if you've got an empty seat next to you. Also useful if you're traveling with someone you actually like and don't mind sharing space with. Second feature, the airline pillow they give you is useless for your head. It's too thin, too lumpy, and provides about as much support as a deflated balloon. Put it behind your lower back instead. Your spine will thank you. Airplane seats curve in ways that force you into positions chiropractors have nightmares about. That little pillow behind your lumbar region actually helps maintain your spine's natural curve. Sounds too simple to work. Works anyway. Third feature, modern airplane headrests are more adjustable than most people realize. The sides fold in to cradle your head. They move up and down to match your height. Take 30 seconds to actually adjust it properly. This alone can eliminate the need for a neck pillow entirely. And if you do bring a neck pillow, try wearing it backwards, C-shape in front instead of behind your neck. I know it looks absurd. It also provides way better support for side sleeping and stops your head from doing that embarrassing forward bob thing. Tip number 3, dress for the temperature roller coaster. Here's what happens on every long flight. Phase 1, boarding. The plane is a sauna. AC doesn't kick in until engines start. You're sitting there sweating with 200 other people, wondering if this violates some international treaty. Phase 2, 2 hours in. The cabin becomes Antarctica. You're shivering under that joke of a blanket they gave you, trying to make it cover more than 40% of your body. Phase 3, random intervals. Temperature swings wildly between these extremes for reasons known only to the pilots and possibly ancient gods of air travel. This is why what you wear matters more than you'd think. I used to just wear whatever. T-shirt, jeans, regular socks. Then I'd spend the entire flight either too hot or too cold, never comfortable. The fix is layers made from materials that actually regulate temperature. Merino wool is genuinely magic for this. Keeps you cool when it's hot, warm when it's cold. Also resists odors, which matters when you're 8 hours into a flight and starting to question your freshness. Hoodie you can take off when it's hot, put on when it's freezing. Layers you can adjust as the cabin climate has its identity crisis. And speaking of freshness, This is going to be too much information, but I'm saying it anyway. Bring a change of underwear for long flights. Or wear a panty liner you can swap out halfway through. Your future self will thank you. Trust me on this one. Tip number 4. The charging situation. Nothing worse than being stuck on a 10-hour flight with a dead device. Unless you're trying that weird raw-dogging flights trend where people just sit there staring at the seat in front of them for hours. Not for me. Hard pass on that particular form of self-torture. First move. Board with your device fully charged. Obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people show up at 60% battery and wonder why they're watching the loading screen 3 hours in. Second move. Research your specific flight's power situation before you leave home. Sites like Seat Guru or the Airlines website will tell you exactly what's available at your seat. Power outlets, USB ports, nothing but hopes and dreams. If your device only has USB-C and the plane only has old USB-A ports, you'll need an adapter. Costs maybe $8. Saves you from hours of staring into the void. Also worth knowing, most economy rows have only 2 power outlets for 3 seats. They're usually on both sides of the middle seat, down by your feet. If you need power, grab the outlet early. Don't be a jerk about it. Share once your device is charged, but definitely claim it when you sit down. Power banks are another option, but airlines have gotten increasingly paranoid about them. Check your specific airline's rules before packing one. Some have banned certain brands and capacities entirely after incidents we won't discuss. Tip number 5. Upgrade your water bottle. Most people bring water bottles on flights. Smart travelers bring wide-mouth thermoses instead. Here's why. Hot water is available on every long-haul flight if you ask for it. With a thermos, you suddenly have access to hot beverages and even hot meals throughout the entire flight. I pack tea bags, instant oatmeal, cup of soup packets. When I get hungry between meal services, I ask the flight attendant for hot water. 2 minutes later, I've got a warm snack instead of sad pretzels from a bag. You can also ask for decaf coffee or hot chocolate, usually available but rarely offered. The coffee gets made fresh with hot water from a packet, not poured from that lukewarm canister rolling down the aisle that's been sitting there since takeoff. And here's the thermos hack nobody talks about: electrolyte packets mixed with hot water. Sounds weird, tastes surprisingly good, makes a huge difference in how you feel after landing. Flying is incredibly dehydrating. Cabin humidity drops to like 10 to 20%, drier than most deserts. Plain water often isn't enough. Hot electrolytes combat fatigue way more effectively than water alone. Is it strange to be sipping warm liquid IV at 35,000 feet? Absolutely. Does it work? Also yes. Tip number 6. The tax rule for entertainment. Most people download whatever's convenient before their flight. Random movies they've been meaning to watch, shows they're halfway through, whatever. This is a wasted opportunity. I call this the tax rule because I applied it to doing my taxes, possibly the most dreaded task in existence. I save a new album from my favorite artist, get fancy snacks, light a good candle, use my foot massager. Make the whole experience something I almost look forward to. Almost. Same principle applies to flights. In the days before your trip, identify content you're genuinely excited about. New season of your favorite show. Book you've been dying to read. Podcast everyone's talking about, download it. Then, and this is crucial, don't let yourself start it until you're on the plane. This creates anticipation that transforms your flight from something you dread into an opportunity to finally enjoy that content, guilt-free and uninterrupted. I held off on White Lotus Season 2 until my flight to Asia. Knowing I had it waiting, I actually looked forward to the flight instead of dreading it. Sounds too simple to work. The psychological effect is surprisingly powerful. Just remember to test everything works offline before you leave. There's nothing worse than settling into your seat, hitting play, and discovering it didn't actually download. Now you're just staring at an error message for 10 hours. Tip number 7. The flight attendant secrets. Rapid-fire bonus tips that actually matter. Once you're airborne, pull your personal item bag from under the seat and place it behind your calves. Gives you extra leg room while keeping your stuff secure. Just remember to tuck it back for takeoff and landing. FAA requirement. Keep your seatbelt visibly fastened over your blanket when sleeping. Flight attendants need to check everyone's buckled during turbulence. If yours is hidden, they'll wake you up to verify. If it's visible, you sleep undisturbed. If you're watching stuff on your phone, use your sunglasses as an impromptu phone stand on the tray table. Or slip an air sickness bag between your phone and case to create a hanging display. Some newer planes have Bluetooth for your wireless headphones now. Most don't. Check your specific aircraft before deciding which headphones to bring. Either way, bring your own. Airlines increasingly charge for theirs, and they're still terrible quality. And here's the move that ties everything together. Actually use all these tips. None of these tricks are complicated. None require special equipment beyond maybe $20 worth of earplugs and a thermos. But together, they transform long flights from endurance tests into something approaching bearable. Sometimes even, dare I say it, pleasant. The difference between arriving destroyed versus arriving human isn't luck or first-class tickets. It's knowing these 7 things and actually doing them. Earplanes for takeoff. Adjust your seat properly. Dress in layers that regulate temperature. Charge your devices and have backup power. Bring a thermos for hot drinks and meals. Save exciting content specifically for the flight. Use the flight attendant tricks. Do these 7 things, and you become that annoying person who deplanes looking fresh while everyone else shuffles past looking like extras from a zombie movie. Which tip will you try first? And if you've got a long flight trick that works better than anything I've mentioned, drop it in the comments. 300 flights taught me these 7 things. Maybe you've got number 8. Thanks for flying smarter with Journey Tips. Safe travels, and I'll see you on the next one.